For Writer's Workshop today, I wanted to talk more about writing letters because we're learning that we can use our powerful words to write letters to people, and it's a really good way to maybe try to get something changed to help fix the problem. Remember when we read that book Click Clack Moo? It was so funny because the cows wrote a letter to Farmer Brown and they were saying to him, "We need electric blankets," and they gave reasons. And do you remember? Did it solve their problem? Did they get the blankets? They did. And they even got something for some of their other animal friends too. So that letter really worked for them. I want to show you a letter that one of the kids in my class last year wrote when we started this part of Writer's Workshop about writing letters. So I told them all about writing letters and how you could send them to people and maybe something would change. And then they went over to the writer's workshop area and discovered a big problem. There was no envelopes. How do you mail letters if you don't have envelopes? So this little boy, Evan, he wrote me a letter about needing envelopes for writer's workshop. It says, "Dear Miss Lotz," that was my student teacher last year, so he wrote it to her. "Dear Miss Lotz, we have a big problem. We don't have envelopes. We need envelopes so we can make our post office." That was pretty convincing. I thought, okay, they need envelopes to make a post office. That's true. I want them to write letters. I want them to mail them to people. Should I put envelopes in the writer's workshop area? Yes, I will. This letter solved the problem. And I want to look a little bit more at Evan's work. You can see that he wrote "dear" and put the person's name up here. And I noticed that he's using spaces. It makes writing easy to read. Especially, we want all our writing to be easy to read, but especially something like this where we're really trying to get something done. If it's not easy to read, our problem won't get fixed. So that's good. Leaving spaces. It's a little bit tricky to tell if this is a capital W or not, but I like how he's using snap words. We have a, and then look what he did here. Big, big. He wrote it in all capitals and did an exclamation mark there. Now that's usually a no-no, right? We try to not do random capitals, and this is kind of like a random punctuation mark. But when I asked Evan, "Why did you do this? You know all of our good writing rules." He told me he really wanted the reader to think that the problem was big, big, big. So he said, I put it in capitals to show them, to try to get them to understand that this is a big, huge, gigantic, ginormous problem. And I said, okay, I like that idea. I think it helps the reader to know really how you feel. We have a big problem. Looks like he forgot punctuation here, so I would tell him to add that in. We don't have envelopes. And look, he did another thing. When I asked him, I said, "Why did you put those weird underlines there?" He said, "Well, I really want them to know this is a big problem." And kind of if you underline it, it draws attention. Have envelopes. We need envelopes so we can make our post office. And I thought, well, we haven't really learned those writing rules, but I think it does a good job of sending the message that this is very important. So I made this chart about how to make your letters convincing. So when I go through these 5 things, I want you to think about the letter that you started yesterday, and maybe there's some of these things that you didn't do. You could go back and add them to your letter. You might even want to just start your letter again and rewrite it. Or you might think, I actually thought of a bigger problem that I want to work on. So it's up to you. You can go back and fix up yesterday's, or if you've thought of a new problem, you could write a letter about that. So it says we can be really convincing. And I underlined it there, kind of like Evans A at a show, like we want to be really, really convincing. So, number one, tell your opinion. I think, and tell what you think the problem is. Number two, give lots of reasons. Try not to just give one. The more reasons you give, the more convincing it will be. Number three, give a fix it idea. So this is something like if you wrote a letter about someone in your family keeping the water on and you said, I think you should turn the water off while you brush your teeth. Give a fix it idea. Turn it on for 5 seconds and then turn it off. Maybe give a way to solve the problem. Be polite. That means use your manners in your writing. I bet you somebody would be more likely to help you with your problem if you used words like please and thank you, right? It always feels good when somebody's polite. And then number 5, you could make your words stand out. This is like what Evan did. He wrote something in all capitals. He didn't write the whole letter in all capitals. He picked like what seems to be really important and he wrote it in all capital letters, and he underlined a few things. That's a way to show that you think something's really important. So I'll show you that one more time in here. Here's where he wrote big, and he also included some underlines. So like I said, you have the choice. Go back and fix your work from yesterday. Here's mine from yesterday. All I have is, Dear Governor, please make laws to protect the earth. I think I'm going to either give a fix-it idea or more reasons. So I might say, Dear Governor, please make laws to protect the earth. We only have one planet we can live on. We have to take care of it. And then something I didn't talk about yesterday is at the bottom, you should say who it's from. I want the governor to know that Miss Werner wrote this letter. So I would say down at the bottom, from Miss Werner. And I'm just showing you that now so that you can see what it looks like. But here's where I'm going to put all my other reasons. And maybe on the back, I want to draw a picture about people helping the earth, protect the earth. So I just wanted to give you a couple more ideas about letters that you could write. And I've gotten to see some of your letters from yesterday, and I think that they're great ideas. I've seen ones about like making laws to keep animals safe. I had a little boy last year. It wasn't Evan, it was a different little boy. He wrote a letter to his parents and he said, Dear Mom and Dad, I think we should have ice cream for dinner every night. It was such a funny idea. You could do something like that. He said, it tastes good. I really love it. I'll eat it all. From Jacob. Not Jacob in our class. It was a different Jacob. That's a funny idea. You never know, it might work. Probably not, because ice cream's not a healthy choice for dinner every night. But my husband is really good at making these pot stickers, so I thought maybe I could write him a letter that says, Dear Marco, will you please make pot stickers once a week for me? I really like how you cook them. They taste delicious. It makes me happy. Love, Melissa. He knows who Melissa is, so I don't have to say like Melissa Werner. He knows who it is. You might think like you need more markers at your artist center at home. You could write a letter to your parents about that. Or you could do any of the other ideas that we've talked about in class. Or if you have an idea that you've thought of all by yourself, that's even better. So today, think about these things when you are writing your letter to somebody. You can either go back and fix your letter, or you can start a new one. And then just remember to sign your name at the bottom. All right, keep up the great work. Using our words can really make a change. Thank you.